recording so that way everybody who's watching the replay, welcome, welcome. Let me pause this and stop share screen. Dun, 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 dun. Come on, stop. There we go. Looking forward to today, my friends, my friends. This is going to be good. We've got some juicy content to cover. Let me make sure I can see the chat. Those of you watching in Facebook, please register. You can have access to the full replay. Those of you watching the replay, welcome back. We're on the last day. And those of you that are still here in the Zoom room, yes, my friends, I love it just to see the consistency and you showing up for yourself. It goes a really long way. Okay, I can see the chat. And as we were waiting to go live, there are already some questions and banter around thyroid well-being. Um, the nodule will be gone, not thyroid. Well, but if they're telling you you're going to be on meds for the rest of your life, it's not just the nodule that's being removed. Um, okay, let's get moving and grooving because we've got a lot to cover. Actually, today, hopefully, I get to kind of take it at a relatively slow pace. Nicole was going to come in and do a testimonial today, and she's not feeling well and ended up having a lot of conflict. So she's not going to be here, which opens up a little bit of time. I'm a little bit bummed that we won't have her testimonial because it was so good and so juicy. But it's all good. There's lots of other testimonials that you can watch, and it gives me more time and space to cover content. So, welcome back to Pause. I love that we all get to take a pause. A reminder that you definitely want to have your workbook. I'm assuming everybody has it by now, but if for some reason you're just chiming in and you miss the other days or life's been too busy and you still haven't downloaded it, just put workbook in the chat and the team will make sure to get it to you. I can't say enough how valuable it is to turn off distractions and be fully present, be fully here for you. Okay. Life is always going to happen, right? The needs are always going to be out there, the busyness, but we get to be present with ourselves and take that pause. Yay, fun. Thanks for letting them in the room. I opened doors to the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator Trifecta. And as a reminder, that ends tomorrow. With the discounted pricing, the added VIP day, as well as the extra one-on-one call with me. So literally a $13,000 offer at $4,200. And I've already had some calls with individuals where when we really got into it, you needed a bit of a massaged, personalized kind of shift. And so just know, book that breakthrough call with me. We can get on and go, all right, what's the right fit for you? For one individual, it made more sense to extend it a little bit more and add in a GI map to really get into the gut microbiome piece from the get-go. For another individual, she really enjoyed learning. And so rather than just giving her access to the trifecta modules, which are amazing and thorough and more than enough, in her scenario, it made sense to expand it to the full library of education. So depending on how much time and energy you have, as well as your learning style, just know that there are possibilities. Okay, so what did we cover so far? I wonder if I can bring out my workbook. Actually, you know what? I'm going to share screen. That will be even easier. What did we cover so far? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, that's today. Let's go back up to the very top. What did we cover? What did we cover? So remember, oh my gosh, remember way back day one, we got into why is now the most amazing time in history to be a woman, prioritize our health, be a wife, a mother, and why is it now a challenging time, right? What is vitality? What is it not? Everybody, you did your own vitality assessment to start becoming really aware of what's going on and what's there to celebrate. And what do I wish was different? What's in the way for myself, my community, and the healthcare system? And started to unpack this concept of fine, right? Then we dug into the 6 areas that keep a woman in fine. This concept of our vibrancy involves our energy, our vision, our community, our libido, our confidence, and our hormones. And I gave the analogy of a house. And to really get clear that they're all important. And I love what came very aware in a conversation today is for some of you, you're on the struggle bus in one of these areas or multiple of these energies, and you're just starving for support. Others might go, wow, there's a lot to celebrate. I'm actually doing really well. And I would like to focus on optimization and peak performance, meaning where can I perpetually up level this? Where can I perpetually set myself up for success down the road so that I can feel even better? And so for those individuals, absolutely, let's go, right? And we really dug into this interconnectedness and the broader effect of hormones. Then day 3, I did a deep dive into hormones, adrenals, and thyroid. Talked about what labs do you want? What are some nutrition shifts, some supplement shifts, answered some questions, right? A lot there. Then we went into what we consume is what we become. And this concept of what we consume through our eyes, our mouth, and our heart, and how we're digesting, and what we're absorbing and assimilating, and what we're detoxifying or not detoxifying really becomes who we are. Right. And so then there's this like, oh gosh, if I get really honest with myself, what needs to change? What do I desire to feel different? And what needs to be absorbed better, better assimilated? And what is it time to detoxify? And then also getting clarity on where is it time for me to receive support here rather than trying to do it all on my own and wear all the hats, or to rely on a community that is amazing but might not be able to support me in this particular area. Then we had our live Q&A. I got through most of the questions. There was still more. I can always go back and address those today if there's more time. And if you have more questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat. Happy to answer. Then we went through this concept of metamorphosis, right? This chrysalis of change that we go through perpetually, from awareness to discovery to mastery, flourishing. And as we're flourishing, inevitably, we get to go back to the student and back into awareness because we're dynamic, ever changing beings and we are always growing, right? And so, in one area of our life, we might be in awareness, maybe with your health or personal development or career shift. And in another area, you might be in mastery, right? Maybe your nutrition or maybe your relationship dynamics or how you feel as a mother or a parent, right? And so we're always kind of navigating this journey. And so there was a lot of awareness there. And then today we get to go into learn to ask for and receive what you need. So understanding your needs, the courage to ask, embracing the art of receiving. And then we'll get into some of the feminine and masculine energy and feminine power. Woo! We've got a lot to go today and it's going to be amazing. Looking forward to it. Let me spotlight this so we have it. It's also a total snowstorm here. I bet I have 2 feet of snow, which is unheard of for Southern Oregon. Kids are home from school and we are rocking it. Okay, so question in the chat, if you're open to sharing, just maybe with one word or a sentence. What has shifted for you so far? Where, where have you felt the stirring of transformation? Just one word. Has there been an aha? Has there been a realization of this is the area and all those 6 areas of find that I would like to shift? Has there been one concept that was like, oh, wow, that was really impactful for me? Is there one question? I would love to see it in the chat, just what comes up for you. And Reza, thanks for finding that podcast episode. I appreciate it. I see the link in the chat with the workbook. And the link to book the breakthrough call. Thank you. I appreciate it. And just put in the chat, what's one aha so far? Gloria, Sunny, Susanna, Shanae, Lewis, anyone that's there. One aha so far. Craving community and fear as one thing that's been stopping me in various areas. Ooh, so good. Yep. Isn't it interesting how fear and doubt can really get in our way versus moving into faith? Like I can sit down on this chair and I have faith that gravity will pull me down, and I have faith that the chair will hold me. Okay. Where can I expand that and expand my faith into prioritizing myself? allowing myself to receive support outside of kind of mainstream insurance model, insurance, healthcare, right? And to go, ooh, where can I expand to faith? And then above faith is certainty, which is a whole nother level. I can feel even better, right? Yeah. Like for some of you, you're really on the struggle bus and we get to move you up a notch, right? Like turn up the dial. For others, you're saying, I already feel spectacular. And there are areas where I know I could be even better, right? Is there really an arrival point, particularly when it comes to investing ourselves in our own personal development? For me, I say, no way. I'm always reading. I'm always learning. I'm always fine tuning and figure out how can I optimize this even better for the short term as well as the long term. Oh, I never turned that light on. I want to do that. Um, there. Isn't that better? I love that. Okay. I want to be more turned on by my life, my lover, and myself. Realization that this is a really important one. Yeah. So good. And sometimes it's our hormones and our physiology, right? I say it's like 20% of the picture, and it's important to really make sure your inflammation is low and your gut microbiome is optimized and your thyroid's great and your estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone are solid. Your adrenals are good. Yes, yes. And then beyond that is there's so much more to understand a woman's arousal system, to understand how much we change throughout chapters of our life and what a huge impact it has to feel really heard and seen and inspired by how we spend our days, right? Because the feeling of desire is the feeling of desire. I don't know, it's something right here. I can pull my aromatherapy out of my drawer and allow myself to take a deep smell and take it in as pleasure and go, yeah, I did desire that, right? I can moisture my lips because it's dry here with all this snow. And I've been talking a lot in the midst of this workshop and go, oh, yeah, that feels really good. I can look outside and take a moment to see the snow falling and the quiet. And this morning it brought up memories of my childhood. For those that are in Southern Oregon, I grew up out in the Colstein Valley and, we had a wood burning stove. And I remember we'd get like 5 feet of snow in the winter and we'd be snowed in and we'd cross country ski out our back door. And I remember the quiet. I remember the joy of the snow in our sled hill. And I remember the icicles that were so big, they went from the roof edge all the way down to the ground. And so this morning, walking in the quiet with this snowstorm, just to like take in the beauty of all of it and to also go back to memories that bring me joy. I have lots of memories from my childhood that were not joy filled, but that is one to go, right. There's so many areas that we can bring pleasure in. So thank you for sharing. So good. Okay. So if we get into the workbook, I didn't introduce myself. So if those of you that are new here, I'm Maraya Brown, Maraya, like the singer. I've been serving women for 24 years now. I did my medical training at Yale, finished in 2007. I ran the women's health in federally funded clinics, private practices, and then I had my own health crash in 2014, which introduced me to functional medicine. Started my certification there, and then ran the women's health at a local functional medicine practice. 2018 went 100% online, except for my women's retreats. And so I serve women all over the globe to really help them move from exhausted to energized, balance their hormones, and really feel turned on by their life, their lover, and themselves. And I have a whole team of master coaches. You met Katie, the team dietitian, on day one. You met Krista, our community support. I think that was also day one. And then Aaliyah will come on today just really quick, just to say hi. And then there's also other master coaches as well that become available to you when you come into our inner space, whether it's the trifecta or women's vibrancy code or retreat or the membership. So anyway, a little bit about me. I'm also a mom. My children are 12, 10, and 7. I'm the breadwinner in the home, a wife, and a lover of nature. Okay. So understanding your needs. I think one of the key messages is you can't ask for what you need if you don't know what it is. Okay. So, and I think I want to really decipher, there are needs and then there are desires, right? And they're two very different things. So when I ask you, what do you desire? Hopefully you can come up with some things. And sometimes people have a hard time going, gosh, I don't even know what I desire if needs aren't fundamentally being met. And so we get to really go, all right, what do I need? And if, as I pose these questions, you're like, "Ugh, my basic needs are met. I want to move into desire, right? So just take a moment to settle in, close your eyes. If you feel comfortable, take a deep, nourishing breath and let your mind become still as you tune inward. Okay, we often jump to desires, our dreams, our goals, our ambitions, they're important. But underneath all of that are our core needs. Okay? Until our basic needs are met, our desires feel distant, unattainable, almost like whispers we can't quite reach. So needs make way for desires, and desires make way for faith. And faith makes way for certainty. So I mentioned earlier, I have the faith that I'm going to sit down on this chair and gravity will pull me down and catch me. Many of you have faith that God is this universe, whatever word you want to use, is this ever omniscient, present, spectacular, gift giving entity that is there, right? We have faith. Some of you have faith that the sun will come up in the morning, not if you live in Alaska in the wintertime, right? And so we get to go, when I allow my needs to be met, I allow myself to move into my desires, then I allow faith to come in, to act in the certainty, to act in the place of faith that those desires will be met. And then beyond faith is certainty. To actually say yes, like for instance, in amongst this workshop, you've maybe become more clear on what needs aren't being met and what desires you might have. If you're acting in certainty, you say yes to the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator trifecta with total certainty that, of course, the investment will be spectacular. Of course, those desires will be met. And of course, you will be held. And of course, investing in yourself is a no brainer. Okay. Just below that is faith. Maybe I have some certainty, but I still have some questions. I wobble in the fear versus faith. And then you get to go, all right, I'm going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to trust based on the testimonials and Maraya's expertise and my feeling. And sometimes even that is scary. And what I say when I meet with you is sometimes you get to borrow my faith, my trust, until you've developed your own, because it's the confirmation of I've taken these steps and look, there's success. I've listened to my intuition and look, there's confirmation that it was all right, that helps build this faith. Anyway, so let's ground this with some clarity. When we talk about needs, there's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Physiologic needs like food, water, sleep, shelter, health, right? Some of you have most all of this. The question would be health. There's safety needs, personal security, financial stability, health security. Okay. There's love and belonging, connection, intimacy, friendship, family. It is absolutely okay to see these are fundamental needs. If you have a longing and you feel like there's a lack of belonging, it's okay to see this as a foundational need. If there is a sense of loneliness or feeling not deeply connected in your community, it is okay to say this is a fundamental need. If you're not feeling passionate and turned on by your life, what if it's okay to say that's a fundamental need? Maybe it's a desire. Okay. Then Maslow's hierarchy of needs has a self-esteem, right? Respect from others, recognition, and then self-actualization to go into personal growth and achieving one's potential. Okay. Um, and so then we go, once your foundational needs are secure, Desires blossom. So what might be some desires? I'm curious if you just put it in the chat. I'll read off some. And as you're listening, or if your clarity are what are some desires that you might have? What did you know before you even attended this workshop? And what has become clear since you've been attending? The desire for vibrant health. Yes. Beyond feeling just fine. The desire for deep, intimate connection in your relationships, presence. Some of you already have that. Amazing. Celebrate it, right? The desire for ignited libido and sensual self-expression. The desire to have total freedom of expression and speak your needs, speak your desires, and feel like they are heard and seen. Yeah, to be loved, absolutely, and be understood, absolutely. We get to send out those rockets of desire, so to speak. I believe in law of attraction. So we send out those rockets of desire. We allow our gaze to move towards faith, and then we allow ourselves to act in the certainty that, of course, it's on its way, right? The desire for adventure, travel, new experiences. You know, for some of you, you're in this chapter of approaching being an empty nester. The desire to have total clarity and empowerment in how I spend my time and who I be in the world when my children are now adults and I'm needed in new and different ways, right? Maybe there's a desire for financial abundance and real freedom, freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom of choice. And some of you already have financial freedom, financial abundance, and then you go, okay, now there's this um, taking a stance. For I have financial abundance, I have financial freedom, and I get to choose to spend that on me. It's my turn. I have desires. I want to up level and absolutely optimize my present and my future by taking this amazing abundance that I've created, my husband's created, my family has gifted to me, wherever it's coming from, and recirculate it into elevating who I be in the world, right? The desire for impact, purpose, leaving a legacy, right? Desire to speak your desires. Yeah. And my hope is that it's to speak your desires and to speak it to ears and eyes and hearts that really receive it and lift you up and believe in your potential and are there to cheer you on. I have cognitive issues and conflicts come up and not able to communicate well. No problem. Yeah. To be able to say, I desire to be crisp and clear with my words and my intentions and have them received. Totally. So just allow a moment to reflect. What do I really need right now in my health, in my relationships, in my career, my personal growth, my filling up of education? I don't want to keep shooting darts in the dark and just randomly add a supplement because it worked for a friend. I want a real personalized approach with someone where I have time and space to ask them questions and I want to learn, right? For some of you, you like have a hunger to learn. For some of you, you're like, I don't want to learn right now. I just want real answers. Awesome, right? And to be able to say what needs have been ignored or unspoken. And how can I speak them in different ways, right? Okay, can you speak more about what exactly you mean by master coaches that are on your team? Is that designation a certification with a specific program or within your program, right? Great question. I guess I'm confused about how your program blends coaching and medical health evaluation and treatment. Great question. Okay, so when I refer to master coaches, when I moved from running the women's health at the local functional medicine practice and I moved into the online space, into the coaching world, I knew that I could make a big difference and move the needle, so to speak, with women's vitality, their hormones, their mindset, their relationship with their sensuality. And I could do that through one-on-one hand holding and personalization, as well as the education. Okay. And then as we grew, it got to a point where it was like, okay, this can't all be on my shoulders. And so if I bring in a team of quote unquote, what I call them master coaches, they are all some of the top in their field. Okay. So for instance, I talk about the HPA axis, the hypothalamic adrenal pituitary axis. Okay. I know that I can look at your personalized labs between me and Katie, and we can really fine tune what's going on with your adrenals and your pituitary, and that's going to impact your ovarian health, your thyroid health. It's all connected. But there are some individuals that I work with where it's like, ooh, no matter what we do with supplement shifts and nutrition shifts, there's something else underneath there. And I thought, okay, the hypothalamus, it's the place where old trauma is stored. So I reached out and found, well, actually, I've known Dr. Scholes for how long? Maybe 15 years. And she had developed a technology that gets to the initial event, often way outside of our cognitive memory, that has created a pattern in our life and just is like a pair of scissors that snips it away. And so I brought in rest sessions. Initially, it was with the co founder of Rest. She would do the rest sessions for all of the clients in my programs. And then it ended up becoming actually Dr. Scholes, who's the one that developed the technology. Of course, she comes from a PhD and all of the background, NLP, acupressure, hypnotherapy, EMDR, Ho'oponopono, Reiki, emotional freedom technique, all the stuff brought into one technology. And it's beautifully done virtually. Okay. So when I refer to master coaches, she's one. Okay. Then I realized the mindset coaching is really important. And I do a lot of it in this coaching container. But I also wanted to bring someone in who was at the top of the field. And so actually, it's a he. And he's been in the container for the last 4 years, facilitating some of the group calls from a mindset perspective. And so, depending on what you say yes to, if you want access to the full portal, you then have access to all of those group calls, which are really potent to really get clear on where am I upper limiting and what is my relationship with receivership and community and all of that. Then it was the deep dive into libido. I was really surprised at how many women would enroll in one of my programs and they were specifically wanting to tackle the passion conversation. So I brought in the woman that I know as one of the top in the field. She's a sexologist. She used to teach neuroscience at UCLA and USC. She comes with decades of experience. And so brought her in as a master coach. She facilitated group calls in the container for 3 years. All of those are once again recorded. And for some clients, they end up wanting some one-on-one time with her or even couples time with her. Then there's Katie as the team dietitian. I interviewed so many different dietitians and nutritionists, and it really was important that we were on the same page in regard to approach. And I wanted someone with substantial education. So she has her master's degree. She's written chapters in textbooks. She's flown all over the world to teach clinicians. She is one of the best in the field. And so when I refer to master coaches, that's what I'm referring to. With the trifecta offer right now, you have one call with Katie and you have 2 calls with me as long as you say yes by the 5th tomorrow. And so then you have a taste of that. And then once you're in the container, we can always massage it. And maybe you want to add on another call with one of the master coaches, or we'll be on a one-on-one call and I gift you a recording from one of the other calls so that you can get a taste for their style. Same with the membership and same with the year-long program. So hopefully that answers your question. It's not like a master coach is not a certification. Yes, I have my prescriptive authority. Yes, I'm a nurse practitioner by training, but that's only in the state of Oregon. Officially, this is in the bucket of health coaching. Okay, so I'm able to order your labs through Avexia. And so it's not linked to my NPI. and I'm giving you suggestions, and hopefully, especially when it comes back to prescriptions, you're then interacting with your prescriber. And there's many women where I'm advocating for them and showing them where and how they can go to local pharmacies, advocate with their providers, ask different questions, and we're always there to support. Yep. Okay, great question. Thank you for asking. Hopefully that answers it. Um, okay. So we were talking about needs. Curious if you've just written down, a few needs, a few desires. And I want to say with the caveat of no judgment, right? Just honesty. Remembering that naming your needs is the first act of self-respect. It's okay to need. Sometimes women, there can be this undertone of, I'm good. Uh, I'm okay. Right? I don't really have any needs. I don't have any desires. And I don't know where it comes from. I think it's generational, but I think there's a lot of room to expand it and shift it, to allow our desires to naturally flow because they're important. And when we are filled up and coming from that filled up place, when we serve and when we meet others' needs and desires, it's coming from a totally different energy and vibration, right? When we are clear on our desires and we allow that faith to be built, possibility expands. Our imagination grows, our vision grows. Go back to those 6 areas that keep us in fine. Our confidence grows. Okay. So just take another deep breath in and exhale. And I just want to tell you, you are worthy of every need being met and every desire fulfilled. Um, oh, yes, Aaliyah. Okay, I see Aaliyah's chat. Aaliyah, let's pop on really quick. Let me see if I can find you. And I see you in the chat. Thank you. Okay, let me just introduce Aaliyah quick. Um, make host, ask to start video. Oh, you have to turn your video on, Aaliyah. Dun, dun, dun. I can't spotlight you until your video's on. She's coming in the
My
room.
video's
She's coming
on.
in there. You what?
My video's on. I'm here.
It says ask to start video. Let me see. Can you spotlight yourself? There, you did. Thanks. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, we can see the snow falling in the
Yeah,
background. So
it
just
has
really
a wood
quick.
background. I tried to show you guys the front because it's absolutely beautiful, but it just looked like pure white. You could not see anything falling.
Right? Backlit,
Yeah.
the Zoom etiquette. So just really quick to introduce Aaliyah, because you've so far in the midst of pause, you've met some of the team. You met Katie, you met Krista, you've met clients through testimonials. Aaliyah and I have worked together for 6 years now, you
Yeah,
think?
we're pushing on 7, I think.
Holy macaroni. And she is the program coordinator. Okay. So and Raisa, I see Raisa saying yay too. Um,
Hi,
no
Raisa.
matter, no matter what you say yes to, Aaliyah is there every step of the way. She's the one ordering your lab. She's the one there answering all of your emails, making sure, how do I get into the portal? And what's the link to book the call? And what else, what other things do you do on a regular basis, Aaliyah, just regarding client support and as a program coordinator?
I mean, I'm just a one-stop shopping, so I can answer any questions. I have probably the most access to Maraya than maybe even her husband. I answer all the questions and emails. Like I'm really here for anything and everything you could possibly need. And if I don't know the answer, I will find it for you.
Yeah, it's so true. Aaliyah, what's my password to this thing? Aaliyah, where am I supposed to be?
I'll figure it out on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So she is there to support each and every one of you every step of the way. And she's been here from the beginning. She's watched the transformation in women. She's watched the lights turn on, the flowers blossom, whatever analogy you want to give. And I know you're not feeling well, and I pushed you a little bit to come on. So anything else you want to add?
I would just say that we haven't had anybody that's really explored with Maraya and hasn't been able to come up with something to enrich their life. So it's really the smallest. She can personalize something very small and easy and simple. What I love about Maraya is that she'll listen to you and she gives you what you need. And she might know what you need when you don't know what you need. I know that
Mhm.
that's been true for me just working with her. So just have just trust and faith in the whole process and the fact that you're here and that the universe brought you here for some reason, and explore it. And don't be scared or shy, and you have the control and the choice to make the final destination.
Yeah, thank you, Aaliyah. And really,
Oh,
truly, the whole team is here to embrace you and celebrate you when you say yes.
yeah.
Um, but you've got to make the declaration and be willing to say yes to your optimization, to that peak performance, to trust that it can get even better, even when it's good.
Yeah,
Um,
I always like to say what like Malia said during her testimonials, like we really do take care of everybody else and don't take care of ourselves. And that's
mhm.
something that I probably the most profound thing I've learned without trying, just working and behind the scenes, is that you really do have to take care of yourself if you want to be happy and successful in any other aspect of your life. If you
Yeah,
are miserable, it trickles into your parenting, into work, into just your relationships with your, like everywhere. It just, you really want to focus on being happy for yourself and then choose what your life looks like once you're happy, because then you can
yeah.
actually focus.
Thank you.
It was
I
nice
appreciate you.
seeing all of you guys on here and recognizing all the names and the emails, because I've been talking to some of you in emails. And
Yeah.
I'm always there. If you guys ever have a question small or weird, there's no such thing as a bad question. Just reach out and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Of course. Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Bye. Okay. Remove spotlight there. And yes, Sunny, I see you. I need Aaliyah. I am so grateful for Aaliyah. She literally started with me, like part-time as a VA 6 years ago. And we've built this together and all the variations and all of the different CRMs and all of the different module platforms and the iterations. And she's been there to support every single woman that's come through and just to watch the transformation. And she's here to support you and celebrate you in a big way. She's also the one that sends your welcome package. Yeah, I guess I'm ruining the surprise, but everyone that says yes, we do send a nice little welcome package, and I send holiday gifts and birthday things, and she's there to remind me, okay, it's this person's birthday. What are we going to send them? We really do our best to take care of the women that make the declaration to take care of themselves. And I keep saying women, I do have many male clients too. They're just not in the group setting. And so that's more of a one-on-one, and you can always ask those questions if we get there. So yes, she is a special, special one to have around, and you will be interacting with her a good amount when you say yes. Um, okay. So I think in this concept of having our needs met, I want you to pause and consider this. What would your life look like if you could fully articulate and accept your needs without guilt, without hesitation, or your desires without guilt, without hesitation? Imagine the relationships you'd nurture, the energy you'd reclaim, the peace you'd feel, the longevity you would be creating. What doors would open if you gave yourself permission to simply ask? And then to be willing to have the courage to receive, right? So we get clear with what we need or what we desire. We communicate it without apology. We hold space without attachment, right? So when you ask, you release the need to control the outcome, right? That's God's business. We get clear on what is it that I desire and go, oh, I am wearing every single hat. I'm trying to be my own healthcare provider and the best mom and the best this and the best that. Where can I take off the hat and simply get clear with what do I need or desire? Throw it to the universe, rocket of desire, and trust that I am acting in faith that it will happen. And I get out of my own way, right? So, what do I need? Who can I ask? How can I express this clearly and confidently? And then we go into the art of receiving, right? For many high achieving women or women who have had multiple children, serving multiple, holding big containers in their community. I have a number of clients who are not mothers, but they're lawyers and running big businesses, right? Receiving can sometimes feel uncomfortable. Sometimes asking can feel weak. Hopefully, not for you. But we're conditioned to be the givers, the caretakers, the strong one. And what I know is receiving is an act of self love. It's not about weakness, it's about trust. Trusting yourself to be vulnerable and trusting others to hold you in that space. And how cool that when we allow ourselves to be in receivership, we are gifting someone else to be in that giving space. And we all know how good it feels to give. So we get to practice. Like, I think if we come up with a mantra together, if we just place our hand on our heart and say, I'm worthy of receiving love, I'm worthy of receiving support, I'm worthy of receiving abundance with ease and with gratitude. I'm worthy of feeling absolutely vibrant and spectacular. I'm worthy of having the answers and they're coming with ease. And to allow ourselves to visualize that and that version of us that will become true. Okay, so now let's go into some of this feminine power stuff, which is fun to cover. This piece. Okay, so if you're in your workbook, let's focus on the image on this left, okay, this feminine masculine. And the way that I want you to look at this is we have empowered masculine and empowered feminine. And then down here, we have disempowered masculine, disempowered feminine, okay? So when we are in our disempowered feminine, we go into control, the martyr, the victim, chasing energy, nitpicking, fix it, overwhelm, anxious, comparing, okay? When we're in our disempowered masculine, and this is for both men and women, there's often abuse of power, controlling, arrogant, defensive, destructive. I'll do it all alone. I got it. Walls up, and self preservation. Okay. So the question is, where do you go when you feel threatened, unsafe versus nurtured and safe? Right? Inner child trauma being triggered versus mature, grounded adult being fully expressed. So we move up here to empowered feminine. We're in our intuition, we're in our nurturing of others and of self. We allow to be in pleasure, an expression of that pleasure. We allow surrender in an empowered feminine way. We're open, we're sensitive, we're vulnerable, we're creative. It's soft. It's pulling energy versus pushing. It's trust and it's receiving, right? Whereas empowered masculine, finish the job, protection, direction, stability, achieving, certainty, right? Men, when they're in their powered masculine, they're on it. It's so attractive, right? And sometimes as women, we are on it in this space too. Listen, I'm a CEO. There's plenty of time where I'm finishing the job. And it is vital to make sure that I take a pause from being in going and push and production mode. And I go back into pull and trust and receivership mode. Right. So there's this play with, where am I? Where do I notice times when I'm coming in that kind of immature feminine or immature masculine versus mature, right? So this feminine power isn't about being soft or passive. It's about being deeply connected to your intuition, not soft from a weak place, soft from an empowered and a mature place, especially as we progress through perimenopause and menopause, the birth of the crone, the birth of that flourishing butterfly, allowing our emotions to be expressed in our body, in our innate wisdom. It's about flow and creation and receptivity. And rather than having to push against masculine energy, it's in partnership with it. Okay? So we all carry this feminine and masculine energy within us. The question is, are we coming from kind of that mature, expressed place or the immature, unevolved space? And we all play with it at different times, especially if we're feeling triggered, especially if we're sleep deprived, especially if we're around someone that really kind of irks us or irritates us or brings something out in us that we don't even understand what's going on. But when the energies are in balance, we feel aligned, right? But many of us have been conditioned to live in overdrive. right? Rooted in masculine, hustle, productivity, doing more, work out harder. And yet vitality comes when we allow the feminine to lead. We allow that mature masculine to come when it's time, but we allow our feminine to lead. So one of the analogies that I give is a river. The masculine is the riverbanks. It's holding it all together, providing structure. Important. Without it, we have a flood. And the feminine is that flowing water, full of life and movement. Without the banks, right, we have a flood uncontrollably. And without the water, the banks would dry and become barren. They need each other. And we need the water to circulate from the mountaintops to the rivers to the ocean, right? So when we suppress our feminine energy, we feel disconnected from our bodies, our desires, and our joy, right? So I bring this out in the conversation of our needs and our desires and our pleasure, because for some, in order to tap into what is that, and what might that be if I really in the flourishing chapter and I'm fully optimized, it's where can I be more expansively in my mature feminine and be in my receivership and allow others to nurture me, allow myself to feel. And it's a great way to prevent burnout. So we get to slow down and listen. Your body speaks in whispers. Someone mentioned they were reading The Body Keeps the Score. So good. And if your body speaks in whispers, what is it asking for? You get to embrace your emotions, feel fully. Emotions are messengers, not enemies. Sometimes water falls from my eyes. I don't judge it. We get to prioritize our pleasure, this idea of feeling turned on by my life, my lover, and myself. Sensuality, creativity, connection. They're not luxuries, they're necessities. Once again, it's not the number of breaths we take, but the number of moments that take our breath away. And we have that intuition, that quiet voice. It knows, it listens, and it's obviously pulling you here because you're here. And many of you have been here every single day. So it's like, come on, what are you waiting for? Let's go, right? So then if we look at the other part of the visual, this concept of feminine power. Feminine power is in pull energy. Okay, when we're in our push, it's important, it has its role, and that's masculine. It's willing, it's logic, it's controlled, it's thinking, it's producing, it's sturdy, it's linear, it's go mode, it's doing, right? Whereas when we're in that pull energy, it's coming from a place of desire because we've gotten quiet and we've allowed ourselves to really get our needs met and then move into what do I desire? It's listening into the whispers and our intuition. It's moving into flexibility and feeling and receiving and spontaneity. It's more circular versus linear, flow versus go, being versus doing. All are important. But I think that, well, I know that many women, I would say most, we are spending too much time over in this push, and things will still get done. Things will still get done, and it is needed for us to really move into that vibrant, spectacular, empowered receivership space where we're in our feminine water. We're flowing. Yeah, we're flowing. And so it's the time to take a stand for yourself, to say yes to the life that you deserve, that vitality that you crave, the perpetual up leveling of the potential, to invest in yourself as a declaration to God, the universe, community, yourself, that I'm a woman that was born for this spectacular life. And I want to live a long, healthy, vibrant life. And so when I'm serving all the people I serve, it's from a filled up, vibrant version of me. And I'm making the declaration that my pleasure and my desires are a priority. My foundational health and well being is a priority, right? So we've journeyed through awareness and discovery and transformation. And now it's time for decision, right? The trifecta isn't just another program, it's an invitation to step fully into your power, It's not about fixing what's broken because you're not broken. It's about amplifying what's already within you and optimizing the pieces that have been missed, right? Not judging the pieces the steps you didn't take or the wrong people that you ask questions, but to go now is the time to amplify what's there and really come up with some amazing answers. So imagine waking up with energy that lasts all day, feeling confident in your skin, alive in your body, clear headed, focused, connected to your purpose, deeply nourished with relationships that feel present, both present with yourself and with others. And nothing changes if nothing changes. Let me say it again. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Hey, Sunny, I love to see that. I'm very pull and I sees my husband is very push. Awesome. Makes a team as long as we commute and connect. Absolutely. And we weave sometimes. Sometimes it is important that we step in and be the banks and allow the men in our lives to play their water. But if there is an imbalance, we also get to go, where is their spaciousness to expand and allow space for me to be back into that water role? Okay, I was thinking about a story this morning when I was prepping for the day. There was a woman who sat exactly where you are now, feeling the pull to say yes, but also at the same time kind of gripped by fear, questioning the details and what about this and what about this and how does this work? And she'd tried things before. She wondered, what if this doesn't work? But she also realized the better question, which is, what if it does? And in her scenario, she took the leap. And months later, she wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. Her health, her relationships, her career. Like, it's so fun to watch these women and see when the lights turn on, what they do with it and how it transforms and how it expands. And in her world, she said, I found myself again. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm feeling deeply in love. And everybody has their own version of that. But it started with that decision to say, instead of what if it doesn't work, and to look for the cracks and the loopholes, to be able to ask yourself the question, what if it does? And what I can tell you is 100% of the women that have said yes and took the steps, it's transformed their lives. They have all come back and said, wow. Now, I will say, if we send you the lab kit and you don't do it, or you have the link to book the calls and you don't book the calls and you don't take advantage of it, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay. You've got to be willing to say yes and also receive. And so that's why this last day, I really wanted to focus on the art of receivership. Okay. There's a word, it's called Ayni, Ayni. It's a Quechua word and it means sacred reciprocity. And what they believe is anytime there is disease, depression, anxiety, exhaustion, discordance in relationships, financial grief, there is some imbalance in sacred reciprocity, meaning an imbalance in giving and receiving. And so we get to go, all right, take an account. Am I in full receivership? And am I actively giving? Right? Is there something there right in front of me that might be the solutions I'm asking for? And am I open and willing to receive them and take a leap of faith? Okay. So the trifecta offer ends tomorrow, right? It isn't about urgency, it's about alignment. If your heart is whispering or screaming that this is for you, trust it, right? You deserve this. You're ready. The money always comes back. The money always comes back. It's amazing to hear the stories of how the money comes back, often swiftly, because we become a more confident, lit up versions of ourselves. Okay. Um, and with that, I'm feeling really complete for today. I might do a little guided meditation. Curious for those that are still live on Zoom, or if you're over in Facebook Live and you have any specific questions, please ask them in the chat. I need an Aaliyah. Yeah, of course. Yep. Good. And let me know if there's anything calling to you. Otherwise, we'll just end it with a lovely, sweet guided meditation. The replays will stay up for another week. You're welcome to still book a call. Just know that tomorrow's the day that the initial offering of discounted pricing and the virtual VIP day and the extra call with me goes away. That does not mean the doors close. And so you're welcome to book a call. Okay, so I'm just going to say find a comfortable position and allow yourself to be in receivership. All right. And you could be seated, you can be lying down. My preference is that you're not driving, especially if you're going to close your eyes and just take a deep breath in through your nose and fill your body with that beautiful oxygen and feel grateful for the lungs that take the air in and send the oxygen to your heart and how spectacularly and without effort your heart is beating and sending the oxygen and the nutrients to the smallest of capillaries, to the tip of your toe and fingertip and every aspect of your body, and just allow yourself to feel grateful for all the ways in which your body is serving you and all the ways in which we can optimize and up level a more spectacular existence. And let your shoulders soften, your jaw unclench, your hands rest gently on your thighs, pointing down if you want to ground, pointing up, palms up if you want to be in receivership. And with each breath, feel your body relax a little more. Deep breath in through your nose, releasing tension. Let go of the thoughts. Let go of the distractions and exhale through your mouth. And now imagine yourself in a cozy cabin, sitting by a warm, crackling fire. And outside the window, the snow blankets the ground, pure and untouched, quiet, peaceful, and still. The world feels quiet and safe and serene, and you are wrapped in a soft blanket, warmth radiating from the fire, maybe your favorite book by your side, your heart gently expanding with each breath. And as you gaze out at this snow-covered scene, imagine the peacefulness settling into your body. Feel the warmth of the fire as it melts away your exhaustion. Let it melt away any doubts. Let it melt away any fears you've been carrying. Let it dissolve, leaving stillness and presence, trust, faith, even certainty, to the potential of spectacular. And now picture a seed buried beneath that snow-covered ground. At first glance, it seems dormant, hidden, insignificant. But beneath the surface, life stirs. That seed holds infinite potential, even when it's unseen. That one seed can grow into a tree that will give hundreds of future seeds. And what if this seed is you? Reflect on the moments you felt stuck in fine, or wondering, is there more I could learn? Is there something else I could be doing? Is there a new way I could be being? Is there a new place for me to receive from where I fill up, not running on empty? Do you remember those moments where there was just the dismissing the whispers of your own needs? And just acknowledge them without judgment, but just notice. Because the awareness of the running on empty and the not enough is the first crack in the shell. It's the beginning of the transformation. And so take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, imagine that seed starting to stir, a soft pulse of life. a whisper. What if there's more? What if my answers can be granted? What if my desires can be fulfilled? What if it can get even better? And now envision yourself as that caterpillar from yesterday, inching along, not in the snow, perhaps feeling restless, wondering, is this all there is? Right? Along the little tree branch. Feel the discomfort not as a sign of failure, but as a nudge from your soul. It's okay to feel the weight of routine and to crave something more, to feel proud of the life you've created, the abundance you've created, and to crave more. And so breathe in deeply, fill your body, and with your exhale, release the habits, the beliefs, the relationships that no longer serve you, or the relationships that version of the relationship no longer serves you, and you desire a new version. And just imagine them falling away like leaves in autumn, clearing space for new growth. And now we get to step into the chrysalis. It's dark, it's unfamiliar, maybe even uncomfortable, but this is where the magic happens. This is where you shed what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. And you get to take on a new version, right? The caterpillar and the butterfly have the same exact DNA, just a new expression. And so feel the warmth of the fire, a symbol of your inner strength. And this fire has always been there. Even when dimmed, it represents your vitality, your desires, your dreams. And with your next inhale, feel that fire growing brighter within you. Imagine the chrysalis cracking open. You're pushing through with those amazing wings you've developed, and light is pouring in, revealing those wings. It's not easy to crack through and push through that chrysalis and emerge, but it's vibrant and it's radiant and it's unapologetically bold. And so picture yourself standing tall, your wings spread wide, feeling light and powerful and free. And this is you, fully expressed, fully alive. See yourself thriving, waking up energized and confident in your body, connected in your relationships, turned on by your life, proud of how you look in the mirror, with an absolute certainty of the future that you're creating that is brighter and more fulfilling and more connected and more love and more belonging and more abundance. And imagine the laughter around your dinner table, the spark in your eyes, the deep, restful sleep that greets you each night, and feel the pulse of your passion, the ease in your breath, and the clarity in your mind. And just breathe it in. And I invite you to place your hand over your heart. Feel its steady beat. A reminder you're alive and capable and deserving, and your body's there. It's there to serve you. It's there to listen and receive the messages, and it's just simply longing for something new, something different. It might be subtle, but it will take it in and it will respond and it will be grateful. When you say to yourself, I am done with fine, I say yes to my vitality. I say yes to the woman I'm becoming. I say yes to the Women's Vibrancy Accelerator trifecta because I refuse to stay small when I was born to soar. And feel the truth of those words. Let them settle into your bones, into the spaces that once held doubt, and to not act from doubt, but act from faith, even certainty. The energy that you act from is potent and powerful. And take one more deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel a sense of clarity. Allow the certainty to settle in. Let go and detoxify anything that you know doesn't serve you. The thought forms, the who you've been, the relationships, and fill yourself with certainty. Fill your being with hope and dreams and imagination and vibrancy and faith. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes, carrying this sense of peace, vitality, and confidence with you. And now's the moment. Say yes to yourself. I hope that you all book a call with me, confirm your spot, and what I know is your future is waiting. And it starts with one simple decision. And that's the decision to say yes to yourself and what we have to offer here. Because I know that it's spectacular and it works. And that version of you on the other side is powerful. So, with that, I'm grateful for each and every one of you, and we will see you on the other side.